Alright then, so what's going on today in the world of Chelsea?
Way so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought.
Hello mate, can't speak already in today's video. How is it going? How are you doing? Good, I hope. Genuinely do hope that. So welcome back to Football Therapy with me. I'm your host Jan. Welcome back to Chelsea news. Of course, double shows, triple shows at the moment every day here on the channel, trying to keep up with all the talking points regarding this silly little football club in the southwest of London that we know as Chelsea and we love. Well, most of us love. Actually, I was thinking about this the other day. I know for a fact that a relative proportion of my viewership aren't Chelsea fans, and they're just interested in what's going on with Chelsea or my takes on it, which I think is freaking awesome, actually. Like, I love talking about Chelsea. I support Chelsea. It's my club. But to have an opportunity to just be appreciated by people outside of the club fan base, I think that's wicked. So everyone's welcome here. And today we are referencing two Athletic articles, the PSR stuff, how Chelsea have navigated PSR and what's going on there, and the deal sheet as well, which is out on every Tuesday, I think, from the Athletic, which goes through like the big clubs and what they're doing with transfers, and of course, with the Athletic being incredibly well informed, this is good insight for us. So thank you for joining me. Thank you as always for supporting the content. Super simple. Like and subscribe if you want to. If you choose to subscribe, hit the bell, and let's get into it. Let's start off with the PSR stuff first. So these are two articles on the Athletic that we are reacting to. So Chelsea, this is, like I said, the financial article. What was the club's state of play going into June the 30th, of course, 2 days ago now? Chelsea have been relaxed about their position for several months. The message coming out of Stamford Bridge remained consistent in that they always believed there would be no issues with PSR compliance, which of course is profit and sustainability rules, financial fair play essentially. The plan was to conduct some business early with some ins and outs. Rather than being PSR related, Chelsea wanted to get as much done as quickly as possible so their new head coach, Enzo Maresca, can have limited disruption during pre-season and be able to prepare knowing his squad is in place. Well, that's good because we've seen under this new Chelsea ownership, disruption. There was that horrendous pre-season summer tour in USA with Tuchel, of course the January window that followed that Potter had to navigate. Of course Pochettino comes in and it was absolutely a mental summer of transfers, and he was like, yeah, I knew this would happen, I agreed to this, but boy, this is nuts. So there's been lots of disruption. So a sign of their confidence is that there were no last-minute big selling spree, despite having several players available for transfer, which is good. Which means we won't necessarily just sell Gallagher for 20 million, do you know what I mean? So how did they resolve any lingering PSR issues? I'm just going to pause and sip my coffee. I'm back. Teleported through time to drink coffee. Firstly, Chelsea had the benefit of a lot of business done last summer to help minimise the damage done to the books. For example, the sale of Mason Mount for £55 million, rising to 60, counted as pure profit. Also, didn't we sell Ruben Loftus-Cheek to Milan then as well for pure profit? Pure profit. Or was it before? Forgive me if I'm wrong. Senior players on big wages like Cesar Azpilicueta, Christian Pulisic, Hakim Ziyech, and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, they all left too. Mount's sum had been added with the departures of more academy talent last week. Of course, Martson generated £37.5 million going to Aston Villa. Amari Hutchinson's sale to Ipswich Town brought in an initial £20 million that rises up to 22.5, I believe. Although Arsenal will get around £3 million of that due to the sell-on clause put in when, of course, he switched to London from Arsenal in 2022. Chelsea also earned another £28 million from Newcastle, triggering the obligation to buy option in the agreement in place, of course, for Lewis Hall, who initially joined on a season-long loan, despite the official announcement only just coming yesterday. It's a lot of money already. Pew, 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 pew. Chelsea registered 4 permanent signings before the cut-off point. And one, of course, was free agent Tosin Adarabioyo, joined from Fulham. And that was not an issue anyway because he was free. Amari Kellyman, 19 million quid, which is still wild to me. No, I'm not. Look, man, I consider myself a bit of a football nerd. I watch a lot of football. I'm into the tactics and stuff. I'm nowhere near like elite tactico football pervert that knows all about niche and hipster players, you know? Do you know what I mean? So I don't know how good Kellyman is, but apparently he's worth best part 20 million quid. Dewsbury Hall, 30 million quid from Leicester, yet to be officially announced at time of recording, Tuesday morning, but it's done. And of course, Mark Guiu, and we reacted to that official signing yesterday, £5 million from Barcelona. We'll talk more about him in a moment, so keep it locked. Were the others? They were the others. Guiu may have been announced on July the 1st, and Dewsbury Hall should follow at any moment, but the timing of a statement does not reflect whether Chelsea had actually added a player to their database. As with all signings, Chelsea will amortise the transfer fee for a maximum of 5 years, so yeah, we can't do that 8 years anymore. In each player's contract by the Premier League, the club continued to offer players contracts longer than 5 years, despite the change in the rules. However, because Dewsbury Hall and Guiu were brought in the final days of 23-24, the amortisation cost for 23-24 will actually be in the low thousands rather than the millions. For example, Chelsea agreed the deal for Dewsbury Hall on June the 30th, but he does not count as a full amortization year at 6 million. Instead, his first amortization year is the price for 1 day. Right, so I don't understand that, because you're like right at the end of the financial cutoff for that year, June the 30th. Okay, I don't think it's necessarily like, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I don't think it's saying, I'm thinking here that it's not a particular advantage, but it's not a disadvantage by doing that. Feel free to correct me in the comment section, but let's move on before my head explodes. So what's the situation with the rest of the window? Of course, Chelsea are working on being fine. I'm working on being fine as well. Let's all work on being fine in the next campaign. The last year of PSR, the rules are changing. Another academy player, Michael Golding, of course, is about to join Leicester for a fee of 5 million. So essentially what we bought Guiu for. Chelsea plan on making more sales before the deadline. These will be well over £100 million. Sounds good to me. Conor Gallagher, sad. Amanda Broya, meh. Romelu Lukaku, happy. Kepa Arrizabalaga, happy. Cesare Cazorla, kind of sad. Datro Fofana, meh. Malang Sarr, pour one out for that guy's footballing career. And Trevoh Chalobah, sad, really. All these candidates are for departure. Not necessarily, I think really, out of all those, Chelsea will want to get rid of all of them, and least likely Conor Gallagher, but recognise that he's an asset, can make a lot of money. And then maybe Trevoh Chalobah, and then all the rest have to go, I'd say. Maybe. I suppose Cassidy could go on loan. Another sign of their strong position is the club plan to use a lot of their revenue to reinvest in the squad should targets meet their valuations. Make money, money, make money, money, money. And then we're going to spend money, money. Spend money, money, money. Right, so that was the PSR article. We're going to go over to the deal sheet now, which should be a little bit more insight, detail on targets and whatnot. I've got eyelash in my eye. You want them on your eyes. What's happened this week? There were more ins and outs, of course. Kieran and Dewsbury Hall may have taken people by surprise. Oh, I've scrolled away. The fee of £30 million has been agreed, and the switch should be completed sooner rather than later. Of course, we've got on good authority that the contract's been signed. The new head coach, Maresca, has worked with him, of course, at Leicester last season. The 25-year-old was put on the wish list soon after Maresca got the job early June. Though it took them until the end of the month to make their move because they were working on other deals, of course. And talented academy prospect Golding, of course, is going in the opposite direction in a standalone deal. Standalone deal. No, unrelated. Standalone deals. Chelsea also acted quickly to secure the €6 million, of course £5 million, acquisition of Barcelona striker Mark Guiu, and finally announced the £19 million purchase of Kellyman, which we've just spoken about. Negotiations are continuing with Boca Juniors for Aaron Anselmino, of course, the young defender. We know that the deal, or the plan is, that we will loan him back to them for between 6 and 12 months. But he's a highly rated player. And of course, not done yet. USA International. By the way, didn't USA get knocked out of the Copa yesterday? Nish, so good for them. And Atlanta left back Caleb Wiley is a target with sister club Strasbourg in mind. Yeah, I mean, we're always going to hear about Strasbourg targets now, aren't we? Because it's just an extension of Chelsea. Maybe like eventually, if we get more satellite clubs in a multi-club model, we'll hear about these transfers less and less, because you don't hear that much. I'm sure Man City articles aren't talking about their 12 or 11 clubs making signings when talking about Man City. You'd have to assume that, right? Right? In the case of Amari, one Amari, another one in Hutchison was sold to Ipswich Town in a deal that goes up to £22.5 million. Of course, we've already referenced the fact that Martson's going for £37.5 million. And Lewis Hall, £28 million. And Ziyech, of course, is left on a permanent Galatasaray. No money made with Chelsea as far as I know. I think we reacted to the story here. It's like a termination of his contract or whatever. Like, he just goes there. We don't have to pay any wages. He just goes. But if he does really well in this year and, like, scores loads of goals if they win, we might make a little bit of money off it. I think it'll probably be nominal, but, like, I don't know, $1 million or something. I literally pulled that figure out of the air. Just not a lot of money. I mean, I could do with $1 million. Why don't you just give me $1 million? So, why Chelsea keeping Guiu but sending out Anselmino? Well, let's find out, shall we? As part of the bid to convince Guiu to leave Barcelona, Chelsea made it clear the 18-year-old is part of their plans now. Woo! Bold. I mean, 50k a week. I failed to whistle there. There you go. Hopefully that's not too clippy on the mic. Yes. And plans now! And not seen as a possible candidate to make their senior squad in the future. Guiu has already made 7 appearances for Barcelona, scoring 2 goals. While clearly not a guaranteed starter due to the competition ahead of him, Chelsea hope the busy schedule of being involved in 5 competitions, which of course includes the Club World Cup, annexed at the end of the season, will ensure the teenager gets plenty of time. I do wonder as well if he'll play some development football. Like, surely, to like get him, bedded in, to just keep him warm, because he's a young player, needs to play. Do you know what I mean? That's what I think. But who knows? We'll see. He'll get plenty of time, they speculate here. The initial plan for Anselmino could match that of Esteval Williams, in that he will stay at Boca Juniors to ensure he keeps playing, just as the latter has remained at Palmeiras. The thing is, I feel like the deals with Paes and Esteval Williams was more waiting to the 18 for like legal reasons, whereas Anselmino, like Guiu, is already 18. Right? It is expected that Anselmino will join Strasbourg on loan so he can get some experience of playing in Europe. That makes sense. But then again, Esteval and Paes presumably won't have their first team signings. Certainly, like, Paes is already trained with Chelsea twice. He's learning English, getting acquainted with Cobham. They look like, because he's been a first teamer since he was 15 years old, 3 years as a first teamer, despite how young you are, he shouldn't be like phased or overwhelmed by it. I mean, someone like Guiu, who's only 18 as well, he looks like he can play in first team football. And it's not like he can't deal with the pressure of playing with Chelsea. He's like scored a winner for Barcelona. I don't know if it was at the new camp or if it was at Bilbao, but prepped, bedded in for these high profile moments. What positions players are they looking at? Now, this is what we want to know. Look, guys, I often get accused of being overly positive. I like to get excited and feel positive about Chelsea. It's a choice. But the thing is, like, people on my social media, like, why'd you get gassed up about all signings? I get gassed up about signings because it's an opportunity. There's a chance for change, and you don't know what you've got. Maybe it's just like the thrill of the chase, the gamble, the roll of the dice that gets me. But I understand like too much transfers can leave you in the trouble, as we were with that January of Potter. But I like it. I think it's fun as well. Like, so I really and of course I'm tribal as well. I'm a Chelsea fan. I dislike Barcelona. They dislike us. It's all part of the fun. If we've taken a superstar off them for $5 million, I'm only going to enjoy that. So I'm gassed about transfers. Happy with a lot we've done. I'm frustrated that certain talents may go, but also I'm a big boy enough to understand that you just can't keep everyone, and you don't know all the story behind the scenes. I just want to kind of make my position clear there. So let's find out what players Chelsea are looking at. So Chelsea are in the market for at least one more attacking player. What we've heard, a striker and maybe a left-sided, right-footed winger. That's what we've heard so far. They made inquiries to Newcastle for striker Alexander Isak in hope of being able to capitalise on their struggle to comply with PSR. Players were offered in exchange, although reports of Nicholas Jackson was one of them have been dismissed. Good, because we like Jackson here, you know. There were also suggestions Chelsea were one of the teams keen on Leeds United starter Archie Gray, yet that was not the case either. That's kind of good because, yeah, a lot of people were like, well, why? Yeah, I mean, they're talking about Gallagher, but Gallagher's, you know, pure profit or whatever. But, you know, it was a bit like, what's going on with Archie Gray? Archie Gray is going to Tottenham for like 40 million quid. And people were frustrated that Chelsea were bidding 30 million on him. Just goes to show, like, people want to be annoyed. That's like their position. Like Dewsbury Hall, right, for 30 million quid might prove to be a really, really good signing, but you know, it's not sexy, is it? Chelsea are looking to strengthen in other positions as well as left back. Yeah, left back's huge. I love Ben Chilwell. Chili B, he's been a great servant to us, but if we are going to be playing a new style of football and if we are going to rely on the fitness, I just don't know if Chilwell's that guy. Of course, Cucurella has been doing really well for Spain. I've got no issue with Cucurella staying at Chelsea, but he's on very high wages, and if Chelsea think they'll accept a big transfer for him to alleviate themselves of those big wages, and then they can bring in a Malo Gusto type signing for the left-hand side, you know, very cheap at what, 20 million, rather than Cucurella 62 million, and, you know, younger, scope to develop, maybe get him from the French league like Gusto. I mean, if Chelsea fans get the left-back equivalent of Malo Gusto, I don't think they'll be upset. Poisonedly. But yeah, I got no issue with a left-back coming in. Which players could be leaving? And also, by the way, right-back, you know, Reece James, best right-back in the world, down that hill. Also, could be perfect for the inverting right-back profile. Aforementioned Malo Gusto, superb. Achimpong as well from the academy, really highly rated. With lockdown on the right back. The future of Carney Chukwuemeka has come under question, especially due to Dewsbury Hall adding competition in the attacking midfield role. Yeah, huge talking point. We all love Carnes. Chelsea rate Carney Chukwuemeka highly and believe his value has actually increased since joining from Aston Villa 2 years ago. What's he done for Chelsea? I think he's amazing, Carney, and in flashes we've seen incredible moments. But like on paper, how has his value increased from like just being injured for a long, long time? And you know, maybe because Chelsea have seen him in training, they've got like stats, and they're like, look at this guy, he's great. And, like references from coaches, I don't know. But yeah, look, I definitely like. Is he worth more than 20 million? My gut says yes, I suppose. So Milan have expressed an interest in him, but Chelsea have dismissed suggestions they are prepared to consider a loan with an option to buy. Yeah, but that's all it says on Carney, because we've heard stuff that they'd be prepared to sell him. But then again, everyone's for sale, right? Maybe they're not thinking of selling him. They're not like putting him in the shop window. But if someone says, can I buy Carney Chukwuemeka for £40 million? I'd go, yes. I don't know, like, maybe. And look, maybe Carney would become a great signing at 40 million. You know, but that's the thing. Chelsea don't want to be like a club selling like players they aren't good at anymore. They want their products that they sell to be good. They want to be like a proud salesman of good products, but also backing themselves to bring in more. You know, fans won't like that, understandably, selling good assets, good footballers, but Chelsea will. You know, and also let's move on. All right. So they've dismissed the suggestions that there's a loan with an option to buy for Carney. Other players available at this stage are academy under 21 players. We've seen with Golding, of course, as well. Clubs being told senior players will either be sold or stay. So of course, here we go again. The list: Conor Gallagher, he could be sold, but again, the potential of him signing a new deal has not been ruled out, guys. Bria, Lukaku, Kepa, Cassidy, Datro Fofana, Malangsar and Trevoh Chalobah, all candidates. Sales might not be straightforward, of course. Everton are one of the host of clubs interested in Brea, but any deal would be contingent on Dominic Calvert-Lewin being sold. He won't extend his deal. I think he's got 12 months left, Calvert-Lewin. I kind of understand. He was a really high-profile striker. He was number 2 to Harry Kane. He was being coached by Carlo Ancelotti at one point, scoring a lot of goals. and it's been terrible for him ever since, Calvert-Lewin. I would have loved him back in the day, but not so much anymore. Guiu, of course, is on holiday after playing for Albania at the Euros. He'll be sold. As reported last week, defender Gilchrist is attracting interest from several teams on a season-long loan, with City outside Como and Preston from the Championship. Both will be good loans, by the way. A good Championship loan for Alfie would be great. But for the culture, City out, Como, coached by Cesc Fabregas. Fabregas. Oh my God, Fabregas. In the first division in Italy. I mean, that is the culture. We want that, don't we? But the 20-year-old will start pre-season under Maresca, and there is an exception. It could take a few weeks before his destination is checked. Well, we're not in a rush, are we? So we're doing pretty good, it looks like. We're doing pretty good. Oh, I'm feeling pretty good about this. I just want to see us play football now. It's all very well getting excited about players and this, that, and the other, but if we stink it up on the pitch, it don't mean nothing. Still, I'm here to bring you through the transfer window, and of course, when the season starts, we'll preview and review matches, so keep it locked. I don't know if we're on 185,000 subs yet. We might be. No, we're still on 184 something. So why not subscribe and hit the bell, and keep it locked, because I'll be back very soon, and I want to see you here. Alright, peace.